What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate y'all coming back. Thank you so much. Today, we're going to talk about why I switched from Canon to Sony about 3 years ago. Let's get into it. So, 3 years ago, I switched from Canon to Sony. I was a Canon shooter for 7 or 8 years before. Got my first camera when I was, I think it was 2010 or 2011, and it was the Canon T2i. I know you guys remember that camera. Now, a couple of reasons why I switched from Canon to Sony, and here are the biggest reasons. Let's start off with the obvious at that time. Smaller body, it was much lighter in weight, and I used to carry my camera everywhere I went. Carrying a Canon, especially towards the end of my Canon days, I was carrying the 5D Mark IV, and that thing was a heavy monster. As well as like my 70-200 and my 24-70, 16-35. Those lenses I always carry around with me. I don't know why. You know, it is something that I think about it now and it's kind of dumb, but it is what it is now. Today, if you actually think about it, Sony's cameras are much lighter. Their batteries are much lighter. Their electronic microphone is much lighter, and the chargers are much lighter. So all that on a day-to-day basis made a huge difference. My next reason was I noticed that Canon was sort of lagging behind in the technology space. So when I switched, again, this is 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago, Canon didn't have IAF. Canon didn't have the face recognition. They did on the 5D Mark IV, but it wasn't accurate enough for me. Next, honestly, were the lenses. I was looking whether I was going to jump ship off Canon and go into their mirrorless realm, and then I started looking at the prices for RF lenses, as well as how many lenses they offered at that particular time. To me, this was a no-brainer. Sony offered way more lenses at the time for E-mount, right? Across the board, whether you bought a shit camera or whether you bought a high-end camera, a majority of them were E-mount. So that was a big, significant decision why I switched to Sony. Now, the E-mount lenses, they didn't have maybe as many as Canon's EF lenses before, but today, I mean, there's no competition. Sony has all the lenses needed for you to do your day-to-day thing. And last but not least, the most important thing, I'm a photographer, not a videographer, not a filmmaker. I mean, I could say that now that I got more into video and so on and so forth, but Canon was always a photo first company or photo first product, right? You can see all the social media platforms at this particular point. Everything is video. You're constantly scrolling through videos. You're not really scrolling through photos anymore. It used to be a thing, but now the shift has happened. So I find that now, and by the way, guys, I had the A7 III when I came over from Canon. That camera was a great hybrid camera. The fact that I could take excellent photos on it and take excellent video on it was an absolute game changer. Now, don't get me wrong, I still prefer the colors of the Canon models that I had. But now with the A7 IV, I don't find that to be an issue any longer. So it's definitely come up where the system has gotten a lot better, especially with colors, and I don't see myself going anywhere for quite a long time. Plus, I've already invested a shit ton of money into Sony's system. Now, switching was obviously very expensive, very time consuming. So what I did was I actually bought a Sigma MC11 adapter for my lenses. So, and I bought 2 of them because I bought 2 bodies right off the bat for Sony. Those MC11 adapters were allowing me to use my Canon glass on my Sony system. So I did use that for, actually I think I still use it. I actually still have my Sigma 100 macro that is EF mount that I still use to this day. It's not the greatest, but it's a macro lens. I use it manually anyway. Doesn't really matter. So everything else I switched over slowly. Like there's no way I could have afforded to get 3 new bodies and 5 new lenses right off the bat. That was just impossible. At the end of the day, guys, it's honestly all about your needs. If Canon comes out with something that is mind-blowing, that makes me want to switch, then to be honest, I'll switch. I mean, unless one of these guys sponsor me, I'm not brand loyal. I'm more about functionality, what works best for me, and so far, Sony has worked best for me. Do me a favor, leave a comment below. Tell me your thoughts about which one do you think is better. How do you see yourself using the Canon system or the Sony system better than the other one? And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment below, and I appreciate you guys. And I'll catch you at the next one. Peace!